As I discussed in our previous video, the dashboard looks like this when you don't have any testing done. And also I mentioned that every account has a default project. The reason why we need a default project is because Tenon's flexibility allows customers to begin testing immediately without having to do any additional setup. And one of the ways that you can see this in action is with this thing. It's called Test Now. And as the name implies, it allows us to do some testing right now. Now this is a little React application, little mini application, and allows us to do a couple things. It allows us to either enter a URL or enter code, and it'll get tested, and those tests will be run as part of our default project. We're going to discuss projects in much more detail in a future video on projects, but for now, let's just go ahead and take a look and see how that works. So there's two ways of doing this, of course, and as I mentioned here, you can enter code. So I'm just going to enter some garbage code in here. This is going to give us an error for an empty heading. This will give us an error for an image without alt attributes. And so that'll give us a couple errors. I hit analyze. What happens now is that the test gets run against this little piece of code. It gives us our errors. That is literally testing now. Going back to this, however, we can also enter a URL in here. So I'm going to go ahead, do a quick run for Google, hit that. Again, same thing happens. The API runs, does its testing, returns some results. And so there we go, the results are returned. And also, just to reiterate, the default project now has 2 total test runs in it, and that is Test Now.